Hi, I'm doing 2D smoke for my graduate credit tutorial. So here you can see in this composition, this is what it will look like at the end. I'm dragging through it because the play was lagging, but so the speed is incorrect, but this is about the shape and the animation that you'll get. There we go. So that is the smoke composition, and you can see it. I attached it to my train drawing. So here I have it in a couple layers of it, and I used it for a transition as well. So in my final project, it's a bit cropped, and then that takes us to the next scene. So the first thing that you are going to do is make your own smoke composition. So we'll go here, we'll delete the old version of it, and we will make smoke tutorial composition. I'll leave it at 5 seconds. We'll keep the background at black. It doesn't really matter the color, you'll just want enough contrast so you can see the shape and the waves of the smoke. So I'll go ahead and press OK. I'm going to toggle the transparency on. So now we're in our new smoke tutorial composition. And the first thing we want to do is we want to make a rectangle. And we want this rectangle to go all the way across the screen. So the shape doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to be editing that later, but we do want to make sure that all 4 corners connect and go all the way across the composition. So my color here is white, but you can make the smoke whatever color you want. You could see in my composition it had a little blue tone to it. I think I'll make it purple, some purple smoke. Perfect. So now that we have the shape, we want to apply wave warp. So that's under Effects, Distort, Wave Warp. And here you can see it added little short waves. We'll want to bring that width and height up, but first we're going to pin the left edge. If you wanted the smoke coming from the right side, you could pin the right edge, but I'll just keep it left for now. And I'm going to bring the wave height up to 50, and you can play with these numbers to get whatever shape you like the best. So I'm going to say 50, and I'm going to say 100. So now you can see we pinned it here, so it's coming from that flatter side. And I think that that's looking good for now. So it's very uniform and it's very kind of boring right now. So we're going to add a few more effects to it. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to just duplicate this wave warp. So right now it's kind of doubling our settings, but it's still very uniform. So I'm going to change on the bottom wave warp some settings to give it more of an organic shape. I'm going to change this to say 1 50. And we'll put this at 75. So now you can see, because there's two wave warps with different settings, this is looking a little bit more like smoke so far, but it is still all traveling at the same speed. So we'll want the bottom part to be a bit slower than the top. So I'm going to keep the bottom at 1, and I'm going to adjust the top wave warp to be double the speed. So I'm going to say 2. Now it's giving a bit better of a flow. Okay, so the next step, it's still pretty uniform here. So the next step, we'll want to play with the direction of the waves a bit. And I'll put the top one, I'll put the direction at 75, and I'll do the bottom one. You can see the direction, you can start playing with it to give some wisps and everything like that too, but I kind of like the yeah, I kind of like that. So I have 75 and 112. So the next step is we're going to adjust this rectangle. We want the bottom to be more condensed. We want the top to be wider. Here. Let's see how that looks. Okay, that's looking good. So now you can see it's kind of starting to get cut off with the warps that we've done. So what we're going to do to fix that is we're going to add grow bounds. And that's under Effects, Utility, Grow Bounds. And we want that to be at the top. And we'll add a bit more until it recovers the whole screen. There you go. Perfect. So that's looking a bit like smoke here. And then we're going to add one more distort to it. We're going to add a Bezier warp. Is also under Effects, Distort, and then it's Bezier warp. Bezier warp. So that gave us these points that we can warp even more to our liking. So this is all very visual. In my train one, I wanted the smoke to look like it was starting at the bottom and kind of going backwards. So I added, this is how I got that direction to make it look like it's drifting in the wind. But depending on what you're using it for, you can warp it to fit your needs. So that's the smoke. And The last thing, and you can do this in your composition as well, but something that I thought gave it a really nice effect was making it a little translucent and stacking it on one another. So you can see here. There's another version of it. Just there's a couple layers. So you can do that in this composition, or you can add it to your composition a few times so you can see it in there. But that's the 2D animation. Hope that helps and hope that you're able to use it in your project. Thank you.